Hey you, how are you today? I'm just checking in on you. Well, firstly, when I went live yesterday, I did say that I would be, telling you why I got into this business really, and a little bit about my story. So if you're interested, I'll go ahead. So what is it that I do anyway? You might not even know, or even know who I am. So my name's Angela. I run a company called Strong Women Fitness, and I do health and life coaching. And originally I got into the business of the health side because I'd gone on a really big journey myself through my own health. I'm a mummy of 4. It's my priority in life and love, and that is when I am at my happiest, is looking after my kids, and that makes me so happy. It does, and it fills me with joy every day. I'm not saying they don't drive me mad as well, that is true. But anyway, after having 4 children and getting older and having a failed business and stuff, and things really started to get me down. And also I was in a point where I was in a relationship that wasn't a successful relationship, and so I felt lost and invisible and kind of unloved, and there were so many things going on, but I felt generally a bit broken. And so I went on this physical journey of getting my body into shape and learning to start looking after myself. And then, being the competitive person I am, I decided that I was going to conquer the world in the world of bikini competitions, bodybuilding competitions. So I went headfirst into that in a big way, and did quite a few competitions. And yeah, at the time I enjoyed it. I enjoyed parts of it, elements of it. But at the end of it, I got my body in an amazing shape aesthetically from the outside, but there was still something missing, and eventually my relationship split up. And so I'd gone into helping women with coaching them through the health side. And then after my relationship split up, I kind of was completely broken, completely lost. I didn't really know what to do. It was a 20-year relationship, so it wasn't a 5-minute thing. And my whole world imploded. It was a bad relationship and I shouldn't have been in it, but there was still all the pressure of, why didn't I get it right? Why didn't I do it better? Why couldn't I do it better? All these kind of things that were going on in my head. And so so I started looking into the first of all I did was cry. I cried probably every single day for about 8 or 9 months, which is a kind of, obviously I hid that. You do, don't you? To the outside world, you're fine. And then sort of, at night, you're not. You're there, you're upset, you don't know what you've done wrong. You're feeling broken and damaged, and why couldn't you make it better? Why couldn't you make it right? Even though you knew that it was wrong. So I kind of really lost myself. I'd absolutely lost any trust in myself. I'd lost the decision-making ability. I'd lost everything about who I was as a person. Things had come up, and my instinct had told me what, like the real side of what had happened. But yeah, I was being told from outside sources that it wasn't this, it was something else. And if I was a better person, or if I could have done a bit better, these things wouldn't keep happening to me. And so I kind of lost my ability to trust myself, and I knew that I had to dig into this. I mean, how was I going to get better? You know, I felt like a complete failure. You know, my kids came first anyway. I knew I had to find a way of becoming better and getting back to being myself, getting back to being a good human, getting back to being a good example. Probably all the things in some respects aren't actually true. You know, I was more worried about what other people thought of me all the time. Those kind of things, you know, I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. I didn't want people to look down at me. You know, all those kind of things, you know, come up in your head. And so for a long time, I didn't really know what to do. I started watching, like my son, my eldest son, he's a Thai boxer, and I'd sent him lots of motivational videos over the years, you know, because I knew that it was, you know, the pressure that he had to go through was all a head game. And so what I'd done is, so I started kind of watching the videos, and it started making me superficially feel better. So I started watching some of these videos, and after a while, I just kept getting more lost into it. And it would be my thing that I would go outside and I would go for walks and I would be listening to these motivational videos. And they were, you know, like starting to help me reframe some of the things that I thought about myself. And there was a significant thing that happened that actually, in the end, about 9 months after, something that really shocked me to the core, that I found out, that actually, you know, like I ended up booking into having some therapy. So I would go each week, and I would, it would give me the ability to go and just mostly cry, and mostly say, but why, but why, but why? And then when you kind of start to understand people's patterns of behaviours, you can't start to understand that a lot of these things aren't about you, they're about someone else. And even though you think they're about you, they're not. And so, anyway, my journey consisted of, once a week, I would go and see a therapist, and I would talk about why I thought it was all my fault that my relationship had broken down. And then the rest of the time I spent thinking, this is not, I don't want to be this person who keeps talking about the past, this person who keeps dragging up the past. I want to move forward. I want to move forward. And I started meditating, and people go, oh, when you say meditating, I was exactly the same. I'm not a woo-woo person. I'm not. But what I did was I got an app, downloaded it on my phone, and every morning I would wake up and I would play this app. And I just got in a routine, you know, it was like getting up in the morning and cleaning your teeth. So there I was, downloading this app, listening to every day. And every day, it's not like it's one of those things that you go, oh, hang on, this is it, I've got enlightenment. It's not like that at all. It's like every day they talk you through, you know, a session, literally 5-10 minutes. And I was really started to help. It really starts to get you to look at your thoughts and looking at your, you know, your thought, what goes on in your head. So we have, that I've learned at a later date, that we have about between 50 and 70,000 thoughts a day. But a lot of them are repetition thoughts, the same thought over and over and over and over again. And if you're hanging on to a bad one and you're repeating it in your head over and over and over and over again, it starts to become who you are, or who you think you are. So I knew that I had to find a way to exit some of these thoughts that were making me really feel bad. So each day I would meditate for 5 minutes, and then every time something come into my world, or a thought came into my world, or someone said something that slightly triggered me, I would look about it, and instead of having an instant reaction, to like, how dare you say that about, or whatever it was, or anything that triggered you. It could be anything you're watching on TV and you're like, oh, that's making me annoyed. I would look at it and I would think about it, and I would think to myself, is there something that I need to answer? Is this something that I need to react to? And I started making rules for myself where I would not reply to something that triggered me, or not for a certain amount of time. So I would leave it a certain amount of time and see if that had any significant difference to my reply. And I found over time that the longer that I left my reply, the more it changed. And then completely say, if I'd left, if somebody said something to me that was upsetting, if I left it 24 hours, it got to the point where I didn't even have a reply a lot of times, which was an interesting concept, because it wasn't that I didn't care or I didn't have feelings about it. It was that actually me not having a reply, or a significantly different reply, was probably the right thing to do. So I tested this theory more and more, and the gap got shorter and shorter and shorter. And over time, I have the ability to not get triggered by things or situations or people or a lot of things. I'm not saying ever. I'm not perfect, obviously, but I'm just saying that, if you practice this skill, it is an enlightening skill. It gives you the ability to control. Control's not the right word. Like, you're in charge of your life, and it gives you this ability to do this. So it's actually incredibly useful and helpful through your life to be able to not be reactionary to everything that is said, done to you. It is a huge thing. And it's really interesting when I go out into the world and I see people reacting in certain ways. And and actually they're triggered by things that are really insignificant. And I think, and they're always, why me? Why me? Why me? When actually it's not about you at all. If you live in the cause, not the effect, if you live in your own responsibility for your own actions, then, like, nothing can touch you, really. It's a really interesting thing to do, to be able to do. It takes practice, it takes time, and it takes a lot of discipline at first. But once you've cracked it, it really is the key to success, life success, everything success, relationship success, family success, love success, everything, because you have the ability to control your own thoughts, and your own thoughts and your feelings on your thoughts is what controls what's said up inside here. And what's said up inside here has the significant control over your whole world. So what I did as well was, okay, I'm someone who likes to take action. I do like to take action. I do like to do things. I don't like to, yes, this was the meditation part, and looking at your thoughts and feelings and being able to control and look at your reactions to things is the most amazing ability. So that was a daily process that I work on every single day, and still do now, obviously. The other side to it is I went to an event, because obviously, when you're upset and you're broken and you're everything, you want an instant cure. You think you got an instant cure. So I decided to go to an event. I went to a Tony Robbins event, and it just so happens there's lots of them in America. I'd found them on all of these motivational videos that I'd been watching, and it turns out that they were coming to the UK the following year. So I didn't have any money at the time to pay for a ticket, but I'm not someone who gives up that easily, and so I kept looking on all the forums, and I just kept looking and looking and looking, and eventually someone said they were selling a ticket for a few £100. It wasn't a lot of money considering how much they are originally. They said they couldn't go. Now, bear in mind, I didn't actually know if this was a genuine ticket, so I was taking a risk, but I felt it was a worthwhile risk. I spoke to a friend, and I had someone I used to work with years and years and years and years and years before, has a flat right in London, right next to the O2 where it was. So we turned up to this Tony Robbins event. There's 5,000 people there. We get to walk on fire. We get to have a life, like changing show. I mean, to be fair, it is intense. It's insane. You turn up, it's 15-hour days. You're there pouring your heart and soul out. And I went on my own. Now bear in mind, I'd lost all my confidence, all of my, everything was shattered. My world had been completely shattered, but I knew that I had to go. I had this calling, I had to go. I had to convince myself that I was worth it, that I was actually worth the money, the time, the effort, the pain that I had to put myself through to change my life for the good. So that's what I did. I turned up, I bared my soul, I looked at every single intricate part of who I thought I was, who I wanted to be, what my identity is, and we looked at changing states. This is a NLP thing, Tony Robbins things, where you can, if you want to master something, you get yourself in a state that's, that's an energetic state. You start utilizing the universe to give you that energetic vibration that's going to raise you up, and you start working on a higher level. And that is something I tapped into in a big way and absolutely loved. Now, I wouldn't say that I walked out of there and think, that's it, I'm cured. It's not like that. Everything's an ongoing process. It really is. But it was the catalyst to really start, that I started to get interested in the psychology side of it, the NLP side of it. I was already really interested in the health side of it, the calming your nervous system side of it. I knew all of these things. So I started putting that all together. So I went through my NLP coaching, and I mean, it's linking up your mind, your body, the way you behave, but it also goes deep into the psychology side of our patterns and beliefs and behaviors. And once you understand how they work, you can change elements of your life that you want to change. If there's something not working in a certain part of your life, you can dig into it and look at it and see whether, there's something that needs to be done. And it always starts with yourself. It does. People come in, they say, well, why does this happen to me? Why has this always happened to me? Or they come into the world and they're saying, well, this person's done this. And when you look into it, it could have been 10 years ago. And they've held onto this pain and haven't let it go. Now, I always say to people that forgiveness is for yourself. It's not for you to hold over another person. It really isn't. And forgiveness is the key to so many things. So many things. When I hear people say about this person done this and this person did this to you and this person did this to you, it makes me so upset, because I know they're holding all that pain inside their body, inside their brain. They're holding on to it, and it's detracting from the happiness in their life. So what I do now, and why I do it, is I just cannot help. I have a burning desire to help women, mainly because I know that what it's like to feel lost and broken, and you have children that have these expectations, and we're judged in a different way. We think that we have to be like this person to be successful. We have to be an aggressive person. We have to be an assertive person that has to have their dominant and has to have their own way. And actually, the key to success is living in that energy of what we like to popularly called feminine energy. And this is for men too, that they live in the energy that is, making decisions for a long-term strategy, making good decisions from your heart, making decisions from your gut instinct, your intuition, something that tells you, your integrity, having your personal power. And your personal power is taking responsibility. Your personal power is, showing up for yourself, for your family, for your community, for the world, doing all the things for the greater good, not just I need to earn this amount of money, or I need to do this, tread on everybody. I need to manipulate someone. I need to have this power over someone. It isn't about that. It's about, so I run courses. A lot of courses come into really digging into getting to know who you are, getting to know, how you operate, or how you want to operate, who you want to be. What is your legacy you're leaving behind in this life? What are the memories you're creating? When you're on your deathbed, what are the things that are really, really going to matter? And let's bring that forward and make them matter now, because that's the kind of life I want to live, and that's the kind of life I want for other women. So I really help them with their confidence, their happiness. Their health is a big side of it, looking after yourself, having self-care. I was always the person that was like, oh, if it's for business, it's fine, I'll buy it, whatever. If it's for myself, oh no, £50, that's too much. It's that kind of thing, like living in, not living in duality all the time. And, we do have to live in duality, where there is different where we are now and where we want to be. We don't wake up one day and say, oh, well, I'll be, most of us, what happens is we wake up and we're like, happiness is over there. And when I've got this, I'll be happy. When I've got X amount of money, I'll be happy. Or when I've got this relationship, I'll be happy. Or when I've got this children, or this child, or when the child's gone, or something, anything, this career, that career, this amount of things that are going in my life, I'll be happy. But it doesn't work like that. Well, you have to live in that bit between of, you have to embrace and embody the part of the void, we like to call it, and my mentor calls it, the bit in between. So you're living in this joy and happiness now, when all of these things are coming to you, because that's the energy you put out. And if that's the energy you put out into the universe, you will get that back. If your energy is, well, I'll be okay when I've got this, or when I've got that, or when I've got this, that it isn't the way. That will only springboard more negativity, more bad things coming back to you all over the world. That's how the magnetism and force works. It's energy in, energy out. If it's bad energy out, it's bad energy in. It might not be from the same person or the same circumstance, but it will come back to you. So it is hard, because we do live in a bit of an entitled world, and certainly an entitled country, and where we have so many things that we think that we should be entitled to, all these things. But what I really look into, and what I really love to do, is to look into people and help them get their confidence in life, help them get their clarity on what they want, help them live a happy life. Nothing, you need your health, and if you've got your happiness, this is exactly, you've got the key to success. You really, really, really have. And I know that people say, oh, I haven't got enough money for this, I haven't got enough money for that. You need to live in this joy now, and it will come. It will come to you. And with gratitude, kindness and love, it will. So anyway, I will stop talking now, and thank you for listening to me. And if you want to share this, by all means, share this with anybody that you want. And I'm not sure which one will be the first one, but I'm running a series of masterclasses, all various different masterclasses on health, confidence building, limitless life, becoming a money magnet, happiness. There's lots of masterclasses I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks, and if you want to share them, by all means. If you want to tune in, coming into my world on the Strong Women Fitness, Life and Health Coaching page. Or if you want to have a chat about anything, just send me a message and I'll happily speak to you. So take care, lots of love to everybody, and have a wonderful day the rest of the day. Bye bye.